Welcome to your emergency chapter checklist. I have been writing for 16 years, and this is by far the most simplistic but effective way to get yourself out of a bind when you are writing your story. So play this whenever you are stuck, guarantee you'll be fine. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, who are the characters in this scene? What do they look like? And you want to make sure you are as visual as possible, because when you know what your characters look like, their hair colors, their skin tone, their clothing, when you are clear on this, it really does help inform the scene. So many writers sit and they go into their writing their book without considering how or what my people look like. Be clear on this. And you want to write down who's in this scene before you go any further. The last thing you want to do is get all the way into your scene and then say, okay, I'm going to add somebody else that I didn't think of before. So before you do anything, be clear on who is in this scene. Next, where are they in your world? Do you know where they are? Are they indoors? Are they outdoors? When we're talking about are they indoors, it's not enough to say they are in a room. You want to make sure you describe the couch. If there are pillows there, what do the pillows look like? What do the floors look like? What color are the walls? You also want to talk about, or think about rather, what dressings are on the window. But be careful when you are making sure you are knowing in advance where they are. You don't necessarily need to describe everything. The purpose of taking time to see where they are will help you emotionally, and it will help you set up a scene that really pays off. Are they indoors? Are they outdoors? You don't want to write anything at all until you're clear about this. Once you're clear and you know you're clear, then you can get onto other elements. Now that you know where they are, what is the weather? I'm not going to lie, I'm an old-fashioned kind of a girl. So when I'm thinking about the weather, I often do use the rain to describe, a stormy situation. But sunshine can be just as dangerous if you choose. But is it about to rain? Is the wind blowing? Is it cold? Make sure you spend time identifying this before you go any further. I love setting up my weather in advance because it gets me in the mood and helps me to be able to apply it in certain areas. There have been so many times where I was stuck within a scene or two, didn't know where to go, and then I remembered what the weather was like. So I was able to build upon that scene even more by adding more. So think about the sky. Is it cloudy? Is it snowing outside? And if so, how many inches? You want to understand this before you go further at all. I was working with a young lady before, and she always seemed to be stuck on her scenes. And once she sat down and was able to really clearly see what the weather felt like, sometimes what it smells like, because you all know that when it's raining, the rain or the air rather has a certain smell. Once she was able to do that and apply that in her work, it definitely worked. So not just the sky, the ground. Is the earth damp, which indicated that it perhaps rained the day before? See these things visually and know these things before you go further. So right now, before you go any further, what is the weather? When you can see it and it's very clear, then it's time to begin to go further. Then it's time to add upon layers within your chapter to make it more visual for the readers. Another good example of that is if you know in advance what the weather is like, if the window is open and a clap of the thunder rang from outside, that could possibly startle a character who's on the inside and prevent him or her from telling one of the characters something that the other character was waiting on. The weather is a great element. Next, very important, what is the scene about? I'm always amazed when writers attempt to write a story without understanding what are you talking about with this scene. What is the purpose of the scene? Is the purpose to finally have a character to say that their relationship is over, or finally have a character to ask the other character to marry them? Is the scene about a character finally being able to, get over a fear? Maybe perhaps finally saying that it's time to quit. You need to know what this scene is about. Is it an ending scene where finally some things come to light? Whatever it be, you need to know in advance, because guess what? Once you know what the scene is about, you can double down on that to make sure that you have conflict. Let me tell you about conflict. A story that is running smoothly, or a chapter rather that is running smoothly, is going nowhere. You want to make sure every time, without a doubt, that you have some element of conflict in your novel, or in your chapter rather. This is very important. Doesn't necessarily always have to be arguing, but a scene that's going too smoothly, then why do you have it in there? You want to make sure that one character wants one thing, another character wants another thing, and that they are constantly opposing the other for it. This is how you bring up tension, especially when it's the hope that at some point, especially if you have been increasing tension throughout your chapter, or throughout your novel rather, and it's the reader's hope that finally they're going to get what they want, only for you to take them to another place. Although it may irritate some readers at some point, you are actually invoking emotions. And once a reader is invested emotionally in your book, then you are making them feel something. So conflict is necessary. You want to have it in there. And again, it doesn't always have to be verbally. You can have conflict with the weather. Perhaps a character is trying to get from one place to another, and it's raining so hard that the person can't see, especially if their windshield wipers aren't working. Maybe the snow could be an element, which would cause the character to have to pull over. And the boss said, look, if you show up 5 minutes late again, you're going to lose your job. Or somebody who is waiting for somebody to pick them up, before somebody else comes, and then they are exposed to danger. Whatever it be, you need conflict. Do not go further with your chapter unless you have it. It is crucial, and it will save you a lot of time by knowing in advance. I hope this helps. If you want these listed in order, please check out the 50-page notebook checklist at the EliteWritersAcademy.com. We also have one for books. This thing will help get you out of every bond every time.